Welcome back to the crypto simulation. Tonight we're going to talk about Velodrome and Aerodrome, two of the DeFi kings on the Base network, on Coinbase. Both of these projects are related to each other. I'll explain how a little bit later, but first, join me in Telegram at the Snack Pit. This is a free Telegram group where we talk about crypto, the latest and greatest, and I have an alerts channel in there. We're some great people as well. And just as a reminder, none of what I talk about tonight is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and any price predictions or other information is for entertainment purposes only. Now, lately, Coinbase's layer 2, native layer 2, has really been taking off, and a lot of that is in part due to Aerodrome. Aerodrome is a hard fork of Velodrome, which has been around for a few years, and I'll talk about Velodrome in a minute, but I just want to start by saying maybe we can just call these AERO and VELO, because there's a lot to say. Hard to say these sometimes. AERO is the central trading and liquidity marketplace on Base. It's also a DEX, automated market maker, or AMM. And the design of this is really brilliant. Like, I've looked under the hood and I find a lot of really great value in this project, and I think it's really innovative, and I'm going to be sure to talk about all that. I'm not going to get too much into detail because this decentralized finance can get quite complex, but I feel like with AERO, they have everything laid out in such a clean way that it's if you're familiar with DeFi, I think it's not too difficult to get yourself started. And then we'll take a look at the charts later as well for both AERO and VELO. I don't know how to say it, and we'll try to see like what might be going on with those. Just to brag a little bit about how well AERO's been doing, during the 24th epoch, fees and incentives on AERO reached almost $500,000, which is the second highest amount that's been recorded so far. And all their protocol rewards are distributed back to the community as voting incentives. They have kind of a very interesting DAO structure. I don't know that you could like really call it a DAO, but it seems kind of like one to me. And this delivered an average voting APR of almost 60%. And as you see there, Coinbase's Base protocol is taking off. I should let you know that I do not own AERO or VELO, but I would if I had space in my portfolio. I like to keep my portfolio small, and I'm really focused right now on the Polygon ecosystem. But these projects sound really exciting, especially if you're into DeFi. Now, AERO's predecessor, VELO, lives on Optimism. Optimism being a layer 2 on top of Ethereum. And VELO is a next generation automated market maker that kind of takes lessons from some of its predecessors and acts as Optimism's central liquidity hub, very similar to what AERO does for Base, and also has a similar governance structure as well. So VELO's NFTs vote on token emissions and also get incentives from the fees that the liquidity protocol provides. And so there's a very strong incentive for liquidity providers to stay in the pool, and that they put their money where their mouth is. So basically, the more liquidity that they provide, the more governance power that they have. VELO is all about providing liquidity a fun experience. It's about bringing DeFi incentives to the people who are supplying the liquidity, like I said. So these are some of the features that it has. It's stable and volatile trading for low fees. 100% of protocol incentives and fees go to voters. Liquid lock positions in the form of NFTs. That's different than what AERO does, but similar kind of concept. You can see right here that this is basically designed to reward anybody who is contributing to the growth of this protocol. And the VE Velo is mainly intended for voting, like similar to like a DAO. And then there's incentives along the way, high APR, interest for providing liquidity to the pools. And what does providing liquidity do? Well, it reduces slippage when you're trying to exchange trading pairs, one trading pair for another on a decentralized exchange. And AERO, this is also something that AERO's I feel like improved upon and does something very similar. And so the steps to getting started with VELO are very simple. You've got token integration, You need the contract address, the logo, and you also then create a trading pair and in the liquidity pool. And these tokens can be staked right away, and that will help you earn the emissions after the voting concludes. And the liquidity pool can get incentives and votes every single week. So they have a very easy onboarding process and a very friendly, I'd say a very liquidity provider friendly system to reward people for contributing to the overall health and stability of the DeFi system. Because without sufficient liquidity and liquidity pairs, trading can be very, shall we say, challenging and a little bit unfair because of extreme slippage. I mean, how many times have you used a DEX and had to set the slippage at like 6% or something like that, and risk having your transaction getting front run? So Velo and AERO definitely address that issue with a creative liquidity providing system. Their websites look kind of like twins. Here's Velo, here's AERO. And so a lot of the things I said about Velo apply to AERO as well. It's just one's serving Optimism, the other is serving Base. So again, AERO is a next generation AMM, automated market maker, that serves as a central liquidity hub for all the DeFi that occurs on Base. And they have a vote lock governance model, and they pride themselves on a very friendly, user-friendly experience. And I can kind of show you what that looks like. Let's take a look. Now I noticed a typo on this page. It says for the protocol design, they use AERO as a utility token, and it should say VE AERO as a governance token. So that's a little bit of a typo. Somebody might want to let them know that. AERO is used to reward liquidity providers through emissions, and VE AERO is used for governance. So any AERO holder can vote escrow their tokens for up to 4 years and receive a VE AERO NFT in exchange. So that is similar to what happens on Velo. Sorry, Velo. All AERO Velos is so difficult. So VE AERO holders vote every week, and in that case, the pools receive emissions, and the voters are receiving 100% of these incentives and fees. So basically, this allows them to, it's called bribing, right? Depositing token rewards for the voters, but it allows liquidity providers to feel confident that their money is going to be okay and that they are being rewarded for contributing to the overall health and fitness of the AERO DEX, right? And so let's see what their DEX looks like. I mean, it looks like any other DEX, just very clean design. I'll show you. So if you come up here to the top, you'll see connect. So we're going to go ahead and connect. And you can see here that if I wanted to participate in the DeFi on here, I would need an Ethereum wallet. I'm not going to actually connect on here, but we can look here at swapping. So this is, just like any other swap. If you use Uniswap or 1inch or any of those decentralized exchanges, you can see it has a whole lot of trading pairs. Lots of stuff here, different stable coins, a little bit of Doge, and a lot of coins I've never heard of, because you can actually deploy your own smart contract on here. And again, all this is running on top of the base network as a layer 2. So wow, there's a lot of trading pairs on here for a project that hasn't really been around that long. Liquidity providing, it's very simple. The more liquidity you provide, the lower slippage a pool will offer, allowing for a more fair and reliable token swap. And so liquidity providers are going to get AERO emissions, are going to get AERO tokens, while VE AERO lockers get the pool trading fees, and then they can vote on the most productive pools. So they've got some fairly simple math that provides a weighted form of stability for their liquidity pools. The deeper the liquidity of a given pool, the higher value that you have locked in there, the smaller the slippage it will offer. And just as an explanation of what slippage is, because some of you may not be familiar with it, and I've been talking about that, It's the difference between whatever the current market price of an asset is and the price at which the actual swap is executed. And so what sucks about high slippage is that you end up getting fewer tokens for your money than what you would, what you think you're going to get. So, you have to pay for that difference to execute a swap in a lower liquidity pool. So, AERO and VELO both offer tremendous incentives to keep their liquidity pools as stable as possible and to keep money flowing very well. The health of a liquidity pool depends on providers keeping the money in there or keeping the tokens in there, and also the amount of circulation that's going on. Like any economic system, you want to have a high level of circulation, a lot of trading, and that is happening on AERO on top of Base. So one thing that AERO is really good about doing, again, is providing incentives. And you can see here, this is the AERO rewards program, and revenue from this is distributed each month. And the theme in crypto, every project has a theme. For AERO, it's an aeroplane or airplane. So you have a current flight departure, current flight arrival, and you can see estimated flight rewards is around 200K. Historical distributions are pretty high. Voting incentives and trading volume, and you can find all this on this link right here. Estimated rewards rebate. So this looks like just a very healthy DeFi system. And congratulations to Base for having such a cool project to bring in revenue to these different projects and just overall health to their DeFi system. I joined AERO's Discord, and they have a very active community, lots of positive sentiment in here, excitement about the project. So that's really cool to see. That's just one of their social links. They have seemed to have a very healthy and vibrant community, which seems to be the theme over at Base. So good for them for focusing on, with something as complicated as DeFi, and I can't think of too many things in the crypto space that are quite as complicated and difficult to understand. It's important to have a supportive and helpful community, and just from scouring their Discord, I feel like they do have that. So the Aerodrome DeFi score is excellent, 100. Nothing much here to be concerned about at all. I feel like they got all their bases covered, no pun intended. Other than just mintable, which honestly this isn't a big deal in the context of things. One of the things I'll tell you is that they have a team from Base that actually manages a lot of the project elements. If there were something that was like an emergency was to happen, they have a full team that's at the ready to take care of it. I'll talk about that next. Okay, so like I was saying, AERO took some of the best features of VELO over to their system. They inherited the contract architecture and full security from VELO. And VELO's been audited, runs a bug bounty program. And they just put the reminder here that this doesn't completely eliminate risk. There were some hacks that took place last year, but they've moved beyond that. I don't think that you have to worry about that anymore. They have an emergency council. This is something that's really cool. So to support the health of the protocol and ecosystem, there's a council consisting of members from the AERO team and prominent figures from within Optimism and Base. So this council can come together if there's an emergency or, through the passage of a governance proposal that requires the council's help to be executed. And these are the things that they can do. So this is a fail-safe of sorts for AERO. Should, there be a need, then an emergency council of people from the supporting chains, Base and Optimism, can be called together to take care of business. The tokenomics of AERO are explained very well in their website under the tokenomics document. Right here. So the AERO token, again, is a utility token, ERC20. The VAERO is an ERC721 governance token. And basically, when you provide liquidity with AERO tokens, you're going to get VAERO tokens in return after a certain number of years of lockup. And VAERO gives you the ability to have an increasing governance power. So as far as the initial distribution, voter incentives was 8% of the supply, Genesis liquidity pool 2%, And then for VERO, 40% airdrop. For VELO lockers, ecosystem pools, public goods funding 21%, and so on. The team 14%. So what you can see here is, without getting into all the weeds and the details, is that the design of the AERO tokenomics and VELO is similar. Rewards the community. It rewards the holders. They don't hold a lot of the supply for themselves, and that's something that I do like to see in projects. Now, I'm not sure how accurate this is, but CoinMarketCap has their market cap listed at $14 million, with a trading volume of 2.04 million, or 15% volume of market cap, which is extremely healthy. And you can purchase AERO at any of these exchanges. Coinbase, of course, the easiest way. Uniswap, if you wanted to, I would just say just use Coinbase if you can, if you want to do it through a centralized exchange. But of course, you could go through Uniswap on the base network if you wanted to go decentralized and do it that way. Okay, so for VELO, this looks like an outdated chart. So it's really hard to find the correct tokenomics. They actually have a version 2 now. So let me pull that up, because you may see something like this and this data is incorrect. So the fully diluted market cap of VELO is around $76 million. I believe they do not have a cap on the supply, and there are good reasons for that. For the type of service that they're providing, having a cap wouldn't really make a whole lot of sense. But there's nowhere that I could find a really succinct overview of the tokenomics that that I like to see, like on CoinMarketCap, where it's very succinct. But this is directly from Etherscan, so this is going to be the most current information. I'm not gonna lie, this chart looks good. It looks like AERO is getting ready for takeoff. I wanted to say that so badly in this video. Look at this nice bowl shape coming out. And this, by the way, this price data is not the most comprehensive price data. In fact, it's probably the least comprehensive price data. But regardless, this looks like a very healthy formation. This is from Coinbase, AERO USD. We can look at some other indicators, but I sometimes you just look at the chart and you can kind of see, ooh, it looks like we're putting in higher lows, higher highs, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing blast off in the coming weeks. This is the KZX RSI, and as long as it keeps putting in this pattern of higher lows and higher highs, then I think some good times are in store for AERO. I don't know that it's necessarily, when I say blast off, that's going to happen right away, but it does look more likely in the shorter to medium term to go up than to crash down. And I do like the way the RSI is developing. You can see it in the chart, this really nice bull shape, but you can see we were at one point quite undersold, and now we're kind of heading up towards, right now we're kind of like just slightly under 50 as we sort of test this curve a little bit, but I at least hope that this continues to climb upwards. This is the relative volatility index, or the RVI, and you can see that the volatility has been creeping up lately. Looks to be in, if we can put another trend line here, in somewhat of an uptrend. And I'll change the color on this so it doesn't blend. But yeah, I think this could keep climbing up, and the more volatile we get with upside momentum, the better the price action is going to be likely. The 4-hour ADX and DI, by the way, all the data I've shown you is 4-hour because of the Coinbase chart, and there aren't really too many charts that have more data than this on TradingView. But you can see that we kind of got through this little bearish phase where we had some bearish convergence, and around February 14th at looks like 8 o'clock UTC, we had some bullish divergence, really some strong bullish divergence, or stronger bullish divergence. You got a ADX score of 21, and then you're coming up here to around 36. So yeah, you're starting to see signs that maybe AERO is preparing for takeoff. The Gaussian filter MACD is showing a lot of consolidation. We did print a long signal yesterday, and we're kind of chopping around here. So could we go back under and print a short? Sure, we could. Or we could print some bullish divergence and start to take off in the other direction. Take off, right? Love it. Now looking at Velo's chart, I'll just say I'd rather be invested in Aero. So I'm not going to really do much of an analysis of this one. This one's been bleeding for a very long time. And I'm not sure if that has to do with the tokenomics or the hard fork or whatever. The hard fork didn't happen till last year. It's kind of hard to say. But yeah, this one I won't even really discuss. So would I buy Velo or Aero? I wouldn't buy Velo personally. Can't even say the name, but I would buy Aero. I absolutely would buy it because I feel like it has the potential to be, and I feel like it already is taking off as an excellent DEX and liquidity provider for base, just like Velo has been for Optimism. But I'm just more bullish on Aero. It's like if you're going to put your money somewhere, honestly, I'd put it into Aero over Velo. Not financial advice. This is just what I would do. Okay. I can't really speak to the long-term health of this project. That I just don't know. But I would imagine as base grows and as Velo gets more adoption and use, probably more towards the mania part of this cycle, I think Aero could really take off like a rocket. I do. I think this is a pretty decent hold. It's a risky hold for sure with such a low market cap. And I'm not 100% sure if that market cap is accurate. I don't always trust what I see on CoinMarketCap. So don't take that to the bank. But just looking at the chart, looking at this nice bull shape, it's kind of hard to imagine that Aero won't do well in the coming months. So yeah, I like the project. Even though I wasn't able to find information on the team, I'm going to make an exception in this case just because they're backed by some of the smartest people in the room at Base and at Optimism. They've got Coinbase behind them, so they've got the stamp of approval from me on that. They've got a strong and vibrant community. They've got a tokenomics that rewards liquidity providers and incentivizes people to provide liquidity for long periods of time. They've got a DeFi system that is backed by that liquidity system, allowing for low slippage swaps, which is what you want to see on any DEX. I don't know. It's just a one-stop shop for all things DeFi, and I don't think you can go wrong with it. So that's my not financial advice opinion, what I would do. Thank you for joining me tonight in the crypto simulation, and I hope that you're having a good week. We're heading into the weekend here, and I just ask that you please follow me by subscribing on this channel. As long as you subscribe, all the videos can get pushed out to you, and it helps me grow and get more reach. So especially if you hold this project or thinking of holding this project, you want as many people to see this as possible. So please share it in your Telegram groups, your Discord, and on YouTube, of course. And comment, subscribe, and then join me for free in my Telegram group, the Snake Pit. I have links. I'll have some links to Aerodrome and Velodrome in the video description, so you can check out those projects for yourself, and you can discuss them with me and with others. We have about 100 members, and we've barely been around for maybe around 2 weeks now, not even quite 2 weeks. So got a special group of people there. We'd love to have you. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.